Have you heard of a facial paralysis condition called Bell's palsy? Essentially, like you've had a stroke, yes. And I should be in a textbook because I've had it 3 times. I was on the edge of another one at the back end of 2024, another episode of Bell's palsy. And I went back to see this particular consultant and he gave me a real talking to about when I was going to sit up and take notice of my body, giving me warning signs that the job, the levels of stress that came with that job weren't doing me any good.
Hi everybody and welcome to another episode of Journey of a Property Investor. Today I'm joined by Andy Potter. Andy, how are you, mate?
Hello Dave, I'm very well, thank you, good to see you.
And you was, last time I saw you was at the Pin Dinner, I think it was, wasn't he?
I think the less said about that the better.
Well, yes, we won't go into that. We're here today to understand a bit about your journey, how you've been getting on, stuff like that. And as well, producer Aaron's got this game that we keep playing. And I'm just going to be honest with you now. I've played this game twice and I still haven't won. Okay?
Okay.
So it is quite difficult. But the bad news for you is I'm going to win this one today.
The thing is, I'd just like to say 2 things. One, first and foremost, I would just like you to know that I loved you the minute that I met you.
Like what?
Right.
Likewise.
Right.
Feeling the
1.
Yeah.
2, this is probably going to be quite a boring episode because I'm the least competitive person you could ever hope to meet.
Oh, that's fine then. So based on that, let's get into some questions then. Okay. What does bring on brighter days mean to you?
You've been stalking me on social media.
Oh, yes.
Right, okay. So in a former life before property, I worked in marketing. I'm from Solihull in the West Midlands originally, but I lived in London for 15 years and I worked for retailers like Selfridges, Marks & Spencer and Bicester Village. And Bring On Brighter Days was a tagline from a campaign that we launched at M&S across all fashion, home and beauty in 2021, just after lockdown.
Who came up with it?
An agency.
Right, okay.
An agency came up with it. I featured on a video for internal colleagues.
Yeah. Which the video producer Aaron showed me the video earlier. It was a really good video.
I can't work out if you're taking the mic.
No, I genuinely.
Okay.
It was a
Thank
good
you
video.
very much.
Yeah, you're good to camera. Good.
Thank you.
So that was Bring On Brighter Days. So that's your marketing days back in M&S.
Yes, exactly that. Yeah, I was there for 4 years.
Yeah. Missed those days?
I'm loving property and the journey and the freedom that it's giving me. But I have at times missed the kind of camaraderie of working in and around big teams of people.
Yes, I get that. We'll find out plenty more about your marketing because I should imagine there's some very, what do you call it now? What you learn there can apply into property. So we'll unpack a bit more as we go through the conversation. But first of all, we got 10 questions.
10 houses.
Aaron. 10 houses, and he's going to be showing us through Property Guesser. He's got a little WhatsApp group for us. Do you want to drop us into the first property in there?
Yes.
Aaron?
So just a quick overview for anybody who doesn't know how this game works. This is Property Guesser. You can play using a link in the description. You will get a bunch of pictures from Rightmove, and you have to guess how much the house was sold for. Now, for our 2 contestants today, whoever gets the closest guess to each house price wins, and whoever has the most points at the end of the game will be the winner. Dave is yet to win. Now, okay. I will be sending a link. For the first property, we are heading to Nottingham.
Ever been to Nottingham?
I have. Yes.
Ever bought a house in Nottingham?
No, never bought a house in Nottingham. A very good friend of mine went to university there, so spent a bit of time there when I was a bit younger.
So what we're looking at here, we've got a house, mid-terrace, 3 stories, converted up into the loft space. Who's answering first on this one?
So again, because the guest hasn't played before, you, Dave, will be putting your guess in first.
So we're in Nottingham.
Yep.
Okay. Decent sized kitchen, living room. I'm guessing it's a student property. I think the furniture's giving it away. But yeah.
Oh, you could be right there. So I think this is just... So this would have sold perhaps sometime this year.
Yeah, we don't know the exact date of sale. It's just recently.
Just recently?
Recently.
How much did you sell for?
Are you okay?
Tried to get it.
Very nice. Very nicely done.
Right, so I'm first, so Nottingham. No idea of the area. Big house like that, 3-bedroom. 280 I'm going for.
I'm going to go for 320.
Oh, okay. Where are we at then?
All right, so for the first point, to kick us off, this house sold for £210,000, which means that Dave takes the first point.
Excellent.
Brilliant.
I really don't mind losing, it's fine.
So back to the questions then. So we talked about marketing there.
Yes.
Your marketing experience and everything you've learned in that career. How do you think that applied in property then?
People often say in properties, it's a people business and it's relationship based, and I would argue that any industry you're in is relationship based.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Irrespective of what industry you work in, people need people to get stuff done, and relationship building is really, really, really crucial as part of that. Without wanting to toot my own horn, I am a people person, and I do love meeting people and hearing people's stories, and I'm genuinely interested in people. And I think you go to a lot of industry, property, networking events, and people just want to talk at you about their portfolios.
Yes. Yeah.
In my experience,
Yeah.
not everyone, but I think there's a lot of people wanting to talk at you, and I think being interested, you've got one of these and two of these, using them in that ratio, I think is helpful, and has definitely helped me on my journey, because you can't know everything there is to know, especially when you're new in a new industry.
And neither should you either. It's about having the right people to go to, isn't it? Largely. But do you feel, in terms of marketing, the way that you would have got products and things out there, have you used some of that knowledge maybe to get to attract things your way?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, with my own socials, which have got very small followings at this point, I try to be as clear and concise as possible. Job number one in marketing is get your point across, but get it across in the most efficient, effective, fun, vibrant way.
Bring on brighter days. Hence, yes, yeah,
exactly that. Yeah, exactly that. So I think it's about clear and concise communication, but I think it's about delivering it in a fun, an aesthetically pleasing way where possible, and socials are a good place to be able to bring those two things together.
What would you use the socials for? Would you use it more for maybe getting investors on board, or would you use marketing social media to look to see how you can find properties and sellers?
Yeah, well, I've got kind of a few things going on. I'm the license holder for Sell My House Quickly Birmingham, and so the original thought with that was that I would have deals come in, activate some of those myself, or sell some on, as I'm a certified deal sourcer as well. Got a separate limited company for that. So really, social for me was a chance to just tell everyone what I'm doing, and remind people that I'm here, even though I've left London and I'm in a different industry, and to keep in touch with people, but to be able to use it as a platform to be able to sell deals on, absolutely, but also to raise investment and to let people know what kind of deals and things that I'm doing.
Brilliant. So look forward to seeing your socials grow out even more then as time goes on.
Yeah, I think we're about 400 followers on Instagram, so it's
not bad.
Climbing steadily.
Yeah,
but yeah,
good stuff. Producer Aaron, let's go to the next property then.
All right, for house number 2, we are heading to Hereford.
Oh, okay.
Again, don't know the market down there at all, but that doesn't seem to matter for me.
Okay. Right. So we've got an end terrace.
Nice inside though, isn't it, that?
Yeah.
Nice kitchen.
Nice marble effect on the floor there. All open plan downstairs.
Have a look in the kitchen. This is one of my pet hates.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're going to say.
The boiler.
Yeah.
Why not just put a cupboard or some housing round it?
Pipes everywhere. Up, down, left, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Hereford, where are we then? What's your price?
I would go to 4.5.
Oh, I was at 250, but that's a bit too close, isn't it? I'm going to go 260.
The laugh of derision.
I know.
The snort of derision from Andy there.
I did say I've never been there.
So I can tell you that the winner was £5,000 away from the actual price.
Mm-hmm.
And this house sold for £240,000.
Yes.
Andy gets a point.
Thank you very much.
Well done, Andy.
I did think after I'd said it that it was probably a bit less than 2.45.
Yeah. Why did you want to leave marketing and get into property? What's your reason why?
So, have you heard of a facial paralysis condition called Bell's palsy?
I have actually, yes.
Have you?
Yes.
So I should be in a textbook because I've had it 3 times. Yeah, which doesn't happen to many people.
Is it like when one side of your face just completely relaxes?
Exactly that. Yeah, you essentially look like you've had a stroke.
Yes.
And I've had it 3 times, and I'm lucky that I made a full recovery because my face has pretty much gone back to normal. But the more times that it happens to you, the less chance there is of that happening. Anyway, to cut a very long story short, I was on the edge of another one at the back end of 2024, another episode with Bell's palsy, and I'd seen a couple of different consultants, and I went back to see this particular consultant, and he gave me a real talking to about when I was going to sit up and take notice of my body giving me warning signs that the job, the levels of stress that came with that job weren't doing me any good. And so I quit my job overnight, basically, as a result of being on the edge of another episode of Bell's palsy.
Wow. You know, my initial reaction there was, really, you quit your job? But that's the actual rational thing to do and the right thing to do, isn't it?
Yeah. I remember my dad saying to me at the time, you know, if you're making a decision based on your health, it's always the right thing to do, which was great advice.
That's brilliant advice, isn't it?
Having said that, the reality of then learning a whole new industry whilst trying to replace my income has been quite intense, but nowhere near as stressful as the jobs that I was doing before, managing massive teams, massive budgets, massive campaigns. And so I'm in conveyancing. I'm due to be completing on a house today, and it's touch and go whether it's going to happen, and the vendor's kicking off. But I said to a friend on the way here, this is still nowhere near as stressful as my old world. And I just feel that now I'm in control of my own destiny. I'm, you know, building my own boat, and it's all for me, as opposed to working really hard and building it all for someone else. Yeah. And it wasn't a kind of initial straight away, like, absolutely, I want to get into property. But I had ordered a new kitchen. And I had this time off between jobs, and I was kind of getting quotes for people to come and paint the flat and do other kind of bits and bobs, carpets and stuff. And it was a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom flat, and a painter in Islington in London, a painter quoted me 11 grand to come and paint the flat.
To paint a flat?
£11,000. Yeah, to come and do it. A hallway, 2 bedrooms, not even the bathrooms because they were tiled, and a decent sized living room and kitchen, but he let 11 grand.
And he said that with a straight face?
Yeah. And so that planted a seed with me of property. And then over the course of the month, I started to do some free training. And then ended up.
That's where I met you.
With PIN, exactly that.
On Mastermind Accelerator?
Yeah.
Well, let's put some of that knowledge back to the test again.
Give it to me.
Where are we going, producer Aaron?
House number 3, in order to potentially start an argument, is in Bath or Bath?
Who's Bath, isn't it?
Bath. I was about to say it looks Georgian, but actually it looks mock.
It does look nice.
Looks like it could be a new build, masquerading as a period property.
So far, the decor's nice, isn't it?
It is, yeah. That flooring looks expensive.
Oh, what do you think of the desk? Have you got to the desk in the bedroom yet?
Oh,
with the 3 monitors in descending order on a curve. Bum, bum, bum.
Right, okay.
It's going to be expensive.
Yeah, I would agree.
Especially if it's in Bath.
I would agree.
Dave's first guess on this one.
Oh, I don't want to be first on this one. I have got no idea. I'm going to go 890.
I was going to go 675.
Quarters split there.
There's a huge split there. This house sold for £857,500.
Well done, Dave.
Very nicely
Take
done,
my hats
Dave.
off to you. Yeah, very good.
If you've got it, you've got it. So tell me about Peg, Leg and Curly.
Oh, wow, you've really done a deep dive. Excellent work. So Peg Leg is my dad. What's really funny about this is that I've run them. Well, my brother actually came up with the nicknames Peg Leg and Curly. Yeah. Peg Leg because my dad did his Achilles heel a couple of years ago, and had a limp for a very long time afterwards, and still has a limp. And Curly, my mum's got really, really, really curly hair, and it's very dry. I mean, it could start a bushfire on a bad day. And so they're affectionately known as Peg Leg and Curly, but not to their faces. And actually, a couple of years ago, I had a birthday party, and one of my friends said, "Oh, it's Peg Leg and Curly," and they looked at my friend blankly, like, "Who are they?"
Well, if you're watching...
They won't. Well, as a result of you dropping Peg Leg and Curly, they won't be able to watch this episode, I'm afraid. So they're never going to see this. It's never going to see the light of day. But, they're my parents, who are in their mid-70s, and I'm currently living with them.
So do you take them along to property viewings with you?
Yeah, we have done, yes, taking them along to viewings. They like a day out. They like a trip. My dad's very practical, and he's a really kind of visual person, and he's very handy, so he's a good person to have to be able to give you practical advice. That's
really good, that is. And what about your mum? Is she good at talking with agents and stuff?
Oh, she loves to chat, loves to get out and see it, and just be included. Yeah. She gets FOMO if she's not invited to stuff.
Is that important for you to keep your mum and dad involved and stuff like that?
So I sold my place in London and relocated back to Solihull. Yeah. And so the plan was to move in with them for a 12 to 18 month period. Yeah. Which broadly is great. Obviously, it has its moments, but broadly is great. They're loving it, and I'm loving it. And so it's good for them to come out and see what I'm doing, and they're involved in it, and they're asking me, a lot of questions, and they're interested.
Because I bet part of him was worried, in a way, when you stopped working in that sector, and then you started buying properties. My mum was petrified when I first started buying them. I don't know about your mum, how she feels, but I think that's nice to get them involved.
Yeah, definitely. I think they're from a generation where you have a job, you have a set salary, you know what's coming in, and anything other than that can feel risky. My dad's less risk averse. Mum is like uber positive. So they're a good balancing act in terms of what they bring to the table. A sense of realism and a sense of like uber positivity is what you need.
I think that's brilliant, mate.
Yeah,
absolutely brilliant. Let's pick up our phones and see where you're taking us next.
Next, we're off to Plymouth.
Oh, okay.
That looks like some architectural project gone wrong to me. It's a funny look, isn't it?
It looks like when I went to Butlins a couple of years ago in Bognor Regis. I'm not even joking. It does. It looks like a chalet that I stayed in at Butlins.
Well, wait till you see the yellow bedroom.
Oh, well, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What shades of yellow have you got? We're after the
Canary
brightest.
yellow, please.
Loads of books under the telly. We are intelligent. We don't just watch telly. We read books as well.
And they had enough of that yellow paint to use it in the bathroom as well, which is handy, wasn't it?
Right, you're first, aren't you, on this one?
I'm good to go.
And this is Plymouth.
Plymouth. I'm going to go 275.
Now, I haven't got a clue, so I'm just going to play tactical here. 270. As long as it's less, I've got a point.
All right, well, this house sold for 235,000.
So I nicked it. Yeah.
So Dave, playing tactically, gets another point.
Yeah.
What's the score at the moment?
It's 3-1 to you, Dave.
Ooh. And we've had 4. Yeah, okay, right.
My luck's turning now. I tell you what, I'm going to win this.
You need Mike to go away more often, don't you?
If you weren't in property, so if you hadn't have picked property, what would you have gone into, do you think?
Now, this is such a cliche because everyone's doing it, but I think I'd have become a coach or a motivational speaker or a combination of both. I love helping people and I love the sound of my own voice. And those two things are brought together in that space. Now I've stepped back from corporate life. When you're in it, you don't kind of see or... when you're in something, you can't kind of reflect truly on it. But actually, stepping back from it and applying some of those skills that I'd harnessed in that time to a new space, I kind of know more about corporate world and people than I thought I did, really.
Sometimes when you're so busy and involved in things, you don't see, do we? You're saying you've had time to stop, reflect, look.
Yeah.
And now you've got a bit more time.
Yeah, and focus on, the skills and things that I'm good at. And I love talking to people, hearing people's stories and trying to help.
When I ask people, what would you have been? I'm surprised that people, every AI video you watch these days where people are talking about AI coming about and it's going to take all these jobs, they always say plumbers and safe. I'm surprised I ain't hearing,
more of that.
Yeah, I'll be a plumber.
Yeah.
I'll be a plumber. Ready?
Born ready.
Where are you taking us, Aaron?
Next up, we have Newcastle.
Okay.
Well, why, man?
Oh, God. Okay. Probably a rental. Would you say?
Possibly, yeah.
I'd say this has been built in the last couple of years. Decent sized bedroom, second bedroom with a Peloton in the corner.
It's me first.
It is you first.
180.
Yeah, I was going to say 185, but I will go 210.
Substantially higher than what you thought.
Yeah. Well, just to make it a bit more interesting.
This property sold for £160,000, which means Dave gets another point. You are falling behind, Andy. You need to pick it back up.
Okay, fine. Need to get my act together.
Journey of a Property Investor is presented by Property Investors Network, established in 2003 and is the UK's longest running property networking community. If you're building a property portfolio or thinking about starting and feel stuck, second guessing your decisions or unsure what move to make next, PIN gives you clarity and direction. Through monthly meetings across the UK, you connect with active investors who are doing deals in the current market. You learn what's working, ask direct questions, and leave with practical next steps that you can implement straight away. Beyond the meetings, PIN delivers structured training and live events designed to help and avoid costly mistakes, structure stronger deals, and grow your portfolio with confidence. If you'd like to attend your first PIN meeting free of charge, visit pinmeeting.co.uk and use the voucher code JOURNEY. The link is in the episode description. To find out more, visit propertyinvestorsnetwork.co.uk. Now let's get back to the journey. So when I met you, you was on MMA.
Yes.
And I remember we sat at a table and you said one of the reasons for going on Mastermind was because you wanted that camaraderie and just people around you. And I think you spoke about it at the start. Tell me a bit more about that, then your decision making there. And
Yeah. So I'm an extrovert that gets my energy from other people. So, going into this, I didn't know how hard I was going to find that kind of element of working on my own and being on my own. And so quite quickly from going to pin meetings, building relationships with people who are doing, they're doing the same stuff, started to feel really good. And I know I needed to kind of do more of that. And so I was regularly doing pin meetings, and then I went to Property Magic Live in September last year, which was great, and met a whole load of new people as part of that event, which was brilliant. And off the back of that, signed up for Mastermind Accelerator.
Yes, and then that's when I met you.
And that was when we met. And so I said this because I was on stage at Strategy Implementation Live in March, and as part of that conversation, talking about Mastermind. And to be fair, the same applies to Mastermind Accelerator. It's about three things. It's about knowledge. You need knowledge to be able to get going. But it's not just the knowledge itself, it's the confidence to go and implement it, which is really important. It's the accountability piece, having your feet held to the fire and doing what you said you were going to do, which is really important. But if I had to put these in order, the number one for me is the community bit. It's, having someone to call when, a deal lands, having someone to go out for a commiserate beer with.
When stuff goes wrong.
Yeah. That for me is what it's all about. Because you pick each other up and pull each other along, and when I really need that support. And so, Mastermind and Accelerator, we've still got a WhatsApp group from our Accelerator team that we met in November. So, it's just great to be connected to people and to hear what other people are doing.
I thought it was a great distinction when you sat down at the table, because it was on one of the last days, didn't you? And you just says, I just really want to stay connected in with stuff like that. And interestingly, we had Simon Zucchi on. He was saying that information alone is not enough, and it isn't. Is it?
It's not.
Yeah.
No, it really is a three-legged stool.
Yeah. And if you do stuff on your own, it's boring anyway, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly that.
So it's always good to have camaraderie.
Yes, absolutely.
And with camaraderie in mind, let's see if I can notch up the victory.
I'm sure you won't. I've got this one.
Where are we going, producer Aaron?
For this one, we are going to the very cheap London.
Can you give us a bit of a clue? It's pretty big.
Yeah, okay.
It's just London.
Okay, wow. So we've got what looks like a 1930s semi-detached.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Double bay.
Decent-sized bedrooms, as you would expect.
It's quite nice, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Bathroom's a bit dated, but yeah.
Yep.
Okay, it's pretty spacious downstairs. That's a big dining room you've got at the back there. And the garden.
That is a big garden. In London.
Okay. You've got quite a lot of development potential plus that massive garden. Who's going first?
You are, Andy.
Okay. I would go 1,050,000.
Wow. Okay. I think there's a psychological level at $1 million. I'm going to go 950.
I can tell you that you were both way off.
Okay.
This property sold for £667,500.
Okay.
Yeah. You guys were a good few $100,000 away.
Yeah.
I don't think no one deserves a point off that one, do they really?
Oh, no, you got to have it.
Oh, I think that would be a cheeky point, wouldn't it, that? Maybe you want to change
your rule.
Forfeit? Yeah.
You want to forfeit the point?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm too far away there. I haven't won, have I? That's like a default win. That's like an own goal.
All right. So then the score stays at 4-1 to Dave.
What would you say is probably the most important skill or tool to have when investing in property and being a property investor? So in getting out there, what do you think is the most important attribute to have about yourself?
That's such a good question. And I've been thinking quite a lot about this over the last couple of weeks. I've been doing quite a lot of reflection and planning, and things are going well at the moment. I've got quite a few deals going on, various finance to do them, and so that's all great, and things are going well. So I've been thinking about what my blind spots are, or where what are the things that I'm not so great at, because that's where I could come a cropper. I'm good at, I would say, building relationships and putting myself out there, which is great in terms of building relationships with agents or sources or brokers. or vendors or investors. But my attention to detail isn't great. And I'm going into a couple of refurbs shortly. And I was originally thinking, I'll project manage those. I'll do that. Yeah. Fine. Yeah. And actually, I'm now starting to think, work on the business, not in the business, cost versus value. Appointing a project manager is probably a good idea, considering that attention to detail isn't really my thing.
I think that is a very wise spot there. Yeah.
And so I think it's about, in terms of a particular attribute or skill, I think there's so many different things depending on your strategy and what you're doing. But I would say, working on the business, not in the business, is a good thing to kind of recognise, and to understand what your blind spots and weak spots are and aren't. Is good to appoint people into the things that you're not great at, because when you're a lone wolf going out there into this space, it's all on you completely, and you can't profess to be good at everything because none of us are, right? Well, maybe there are some people that are good at everything, but you need help. And so I think it's about understanding where you can add value, but where other people can add value, and putting people on the right tasks.
So that general self-awareness.
I guess so, but I guess it also comes from my background of being a director in businesses and having to put teams together and delegate and get the right people on the right jobs.
That is a good skill to have, because most people just see what it's going to cost them, so they try and do everything themselves.
Yeah.
So like what you've just said in that project managing scenario, the amount of times I've done that and gone, yeah, I'll do this, and I'm like, I'm not good with detail. I'll have the idea and see the vision and see where it's got to go. Right. Then I am the worst person to run that, because after a while, you get a bit bored with it. Or there's something over there, don't you? It's like, I'll have a look at that.
Yeah.
And your attention's taken away. I think self-awareness is very good.
So yeah, in answer to your question, if I was to put a label on it, I would say self-awareness. I think that's important.
Yeah, very good, and it's good that you've spotted that as well. And like you said, that transition from your reflecting what you was doing in the corporate world, didn't it?
I guess so, but I think the other thing is, we talk about in property a lot creating win-win scenarios, whether it's the vendor, the deal sourcer, the buyer, whoever it might be. But actually, when you think about your power team more broadly, you're giving people work. Yes. By giving jobs to people. Yeah. So you're employing people to do things too. So you are literally creating win-win scenarios beyond the trinity of the buyer and the seller, and the agent or sourcer. You're going beyond that and spreading the love.
So it all goes around
to people, which is good too.
Yeah. Mate of mine says, I don't begrudge anybody making a profit as long as I make mine.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Like that, isn't it?
There's space for everyone.
Yeah. Where are we going next then?
Are we ready for another accent from our in-house impressionist Dave?
Okay.
Yes, absolutely.
Go on,
We are going to Glasgow.
Okay.
I'm not going to try that.
No.
No. Oh my love, there's only 3 photos, isn't there?
Yep, and no floor plan.
No floor plan, but
Okay, so no bedrooms. All we know is it's got central heating, a secure entry, and no floor plan.
Yeah.
So hang on, let me just reflect on my experience now. When did I buy a house with central heating and a secure entry? Oh, I think I know where to place this one.
This is ambiguous as hell. I would say.
Not you first.
Damn.
I wasn't going to say a price. I was just going to give. Actually, I'm not going to say anything actually, because I wouldn't want to give any competitive edge away.
I ain't got high hopes for this. I'm looking at the cars out the front, and they're not the most modern cars either. I'm going to say that's 130 grand.
Are you thinking that it's a house or a flat?
I've got no idea. It's got central heating and a secure entry. So I'm pretty much going with that.
Yeah. I would go 180.
Okay.
This property sold for £110,000.
Oh, Dave, you've absolutely whipped
got this
me.
in the bag.
I'm
going to text Mike and Simon in a minute. So I want to talk about nerve-wracking moments for you now.
Oh, wow, okay.
Out of these 3 choices, what was the most nerve-wracking one? So leaving your marketing career and moving to something completely different, doing your first deal, or standing on the stage at Sill in front of 200 people. Which one of those?
That's such a good question. I mean, there's adrenaline with speaking publicly, but I did a lot of that in my corporate life. And actually, if there's one bit of my old life that I do miss, it is that kind of that public speaking thing. And so not that one. I guess quitting my job and selling up in London and telling people that I was getting into property when I had no clue. about how I was actually planning to make that a reality. I do think back to some of those conversations. You know, some of my friends and family were probably thinking, "You're going to do what?" And I did not have a clue, but I was lucky I had a lot of support. So I think that decision was bold and brave, and probably took the most amount of courage.
It's a big part of your identity, isn't it?
Of course, yeah.
Because when you ask people like what they do for a living, they'll say "I am," and then whatever, you know, you think about that as the construction of a sentence. I am this.
Yeah.
And you know, insert there butcher, road layer, whatever.
But like I said a bit earlier, when you're making a decision based on your health, you know, it didn't feel like it was a negotiable. It felt something that I had to do. But all the stuff that comes with it, and telling people what you're doing when you haven't really got a plan of how you're going to do it.
Because I bet there was a temptation there just to go, well, you've done marketing all these, just do a bit of it then. Or
Yeah. I mean, initially when I was, I put the place in London on the market and was looking at moving back. I was looking at marketing jobs in and around Birmingham to kind of keep me going financially whilst I was learning about property. But this might not come as a surprise, but I'm an all or nothing kind of person. I am either, you know,
I want to guess that.
fully in or not interested. And I knew that for me, there was just no way that I could have held down a full-time job whilst learning about property on the side. I wouldn't have been able to have done both. I knew I had to fully commit and dive in. And, you know, financially at points, things have been difficult from a personal finance perspective because I've had no income. But you know, you make things work. But that's also given me the fire to go out and make stuff happen because I've actually had to. And I think without that, I probably wouldn't be where I am.
Yeah, it's important you share that, because I guarantee there'll be someone who stumbles across this video at some point who'll be in that same position where they'll want to leave or feel they've got to stop doing something and change to something else. And it is scary, isn't it? And sometimes when you burn the boats, you got no choice, have you?
Yeah.
That's it. You're there then. That's it.
And when you've told people what you're doing,
that's the worst one.
You know, I've told people now, so I've kind of got to be a property developer. Yeah. You know, I've got to do it.
Brilliant. Should we give you an opportunity to see if you can get up the scoreboard?
I think that would be good. Yeah, I think that's needed. Right, where are we in the world?
Where are we going?
Right, we're coming a bit further south than Glasgow. We're heading to Manchester.
Okay.
Man for it.
Okay. Okay.
Looks frightened, doesn't he? Like he's hugging up to that big house, hiding. I mean, a nice mattress just to leave in and just show the house off.
Yeah, that's really nice.
Good selling.
It's always nice when this mattress has got a really big stain on it.
Yeah. It's called dressing, isn't it, really? In the interior design world.
It's really nice. I'm going to go 140.
Ooh. 130.
I think you've seen these answers before I came into the room.
I haven't.
I made sure he didn't. I knew he would try and cheat if he had the opportunity.
I would not try and cheat.
You've always been jealous of me.
This property sold for 210,000.
Oh!
Andy gets a point.
Okay.
So looking at deals like that, how do you find your deals then?
This is a great question, and I'm really glad that you've asked it, because I've felt at points like a massive fraud coming into the property game.
Interesting.
Because I have had, up until a certain point, exclusively used a deal sourcer up in the Northeast, who is amazing.
Yeah.
And obviously I'm on, after the success of Mastermind Accelerator, I joined the Mastermind program for a year, which, we taught all of these different strategies, ways to acquire properties. And I've been sitting there thinking, well, I'm just using a sourcer, I'm cheating the system. And I have actually now done 2 deals of my own that aren't up in the Northeast, which is where my sourcer typically operates. And so I'm now feeling that I've got a couple of my own under my belt.
Done it myself.
But essentially, the first few that I did with stabilisers on, if you like. You know, I've gone through the process of buying the properties. I ultimately got to a point where I said to myself, Andy, if it isn't broken, why are you trying to fix something that isn't broken?
I completely agree.
And again, coming back to my point earlier and creating win-win scenarios, my sourcer is amazing and deserves every single pound that he is paid, because he finds the properties and then manages the builds and the refurbs.
Oh, my life, I wouldn't feel fraud. I'd feel lucky.
Right. They've pretty much all been money out deals or thereabouts, and they're doing really well. And so I
feel a fraud.
Now I'm in a space where I'm comfortable and confident that you can do it all.
I think there's no fraud there. I think what you've done is you've stumbled across something that is quite rare, which is a good saucer.
Yeah, agreed. You come across a good saucer, and again, working on the business, not in the business. My job is to, raise the money to get the deals done. Yeah. And so I've been seeing my strength as raising the finance to pay the saucer, to pay for the properties, to get them up and running and to start making money. And so it's again about playing to your strengths.
Of course it is. And I think the other key thing there with the saucer is you have to know how to stack a deal yourself. Just because they put something in front of you, you don't just take that as gospel and go, well, they said it's 20% ROI and blah. You've got to know, haven't you, really? Yeah.
The issue is not the issue. I am an open book, and I'm keen to help anyone that I speak to. And so when I tell people the stories and talk them through the deals that I've done with the saucer, everyone's bowled over. So I've introed the saucer to about 50 people. But I am now starting to think that because when deals are put into this WhatsApp group, I'm now in competition with all of these 50 people.
I'd have kept it quiet.
That I've put in touch with the saucer, but he's happy and I'm happy. So yeah,
I'd have kept him quiet just for myself, and no one else wants to be in property. Yeah, just deal with me.
Yeah, it's become a victim of his own success.
Yeah. Brilliant. Well, I think that's great, and I get why you're saying a fraud. You felt a fraud, but you absolutely realised.
Yeah, I did. I don't anymore.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Right.
Where are we off
Producer
to?
Aaron, where next?
For our penultimate property, we are off to Colchester.
Okay.
I don't even know where Colchester is.
No further information given. Oh, Aaron. How could you?
It's right move, not me.
The next one's going to be, it's got a roof. Right, given where it is, it's only a start at 235.
I'm going to go 170.
This house sold for £245,500.
Mr. G.
I just felt it. It came. It just the property god spoke to me. So, what advice would you give your younger self? But if your younger self was to turn up now in 2026?
Well, that's a great question. You're asking some great questions today, Dave. I wasn't expecting this. I have been helping out someone who is just starting in their property journey. They used to work in marketing.
Yeah.
They're like a year behind me, and we had a call yesterday, and I gave him a couple of bits of advice, which were essentially find your people, get out there and be present and tell everyone what you're doing, which I've done quite a bit of. Enjoy the process, which I know is a massive cliche, and it has been, like I said, hard for me because I've been trying to replace my income, and so finance has been like quite stressful at points. Yeah. Quite quickly, things have started to gain momentum for me, and I can see the light at the end of the of that tunnel.
Yes.
And so I'm just really trying to enjoy this time because I just know that I've only currently got one property up and running that's making any money. The rest are all either in conveyancing or they've got builders in. And so quite quickly they will all be up and running and there'll be money coming in. And I'm looking forward to that time coming. But I also feel like the anticipation of that happening is really exciting. And when I do get to that point, what's then going to be that fire in my... there'll be something else. There'll be more, of course.
I should
there'll be
imagine
more
it's like
deals
being,
to do.
a first part on a skydive where you're free falling, and then you're thinking, yeah, I'm enjoying this, but the parachute does work. And then when it pops out,
Yeah. So I guess it's like about, if I was to say anything to myself a year ago, it would be, trust the process and just enjoy and be as present as you can and enjoy the moment on the way because you're on the way up.
Yeah, and I think it sounds like you've trusted yourself as well.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, look, it's easy to sit here today when things are going to go on a good day, when things are going well.
Yeah,
and speak
totally
positively.
agree.
It's not always, you don't wake up every day feeling positive. It's a roller coaster,
Yes, you have to make that, don't you?
Yeah, of course. But you've caught me on a good day, so that's...
Yeah, that trusting yourself's a big thing.
Yeah.
Again, especially when you've got something that you could fall back on that makes money. When you've picked your different path, you've told everybody what you're going to do. There's ups and downs, as we both know. Sticking with it is a big, brave thing to do.
Yeah,
courage.
Thank you. Yeah, well, you've got your feet held to the fire, haven't you, with your coaches and your
Absolutely.
peers, etc. So yeah,
absolutely. Last house then. See if you can get one back. Where's this property?
We are coming home to Birmingham.
Oh, gorgeous.
A nice, solid-looking house outside, is it?
Yeah, it's nice. Nice double-fronted number there.
Yeah, although when it's got like the one window, the one pitch roof at the one side. Mm-hmm. If it had eyebrows, it'd look like this, wouldn't it? Like, yeah. They've barely made the bed. Someone's coming round to put. Someone's
terrible.
coming round to take photos and put them on the internet where all your neighbours can see, and you haven't even made the bed. They've left clothes over one of the chairs.
Yeah.
That's a strange garden, isn't it? It just goes up into a point.
Yeah. It's like a witch's hat.
Yes.
I'm going to go 375.
I don't think that garden's doing it any favours, and it's an odd-shaped house. Looking at that, 275.
This house sold for the final point, £300,000.
Oh, yes. Dave, give it to me.
One.
Yeah.
I've won
Well
one.
done. Well done.
Brilliant. That leads us nicely into the last question. So it's been really nice hearing about where you've come from, where you are at the moment. What's next?
Another great question, Dave. So I've decided not to buy any more houses this year.
Okay.
Because it's getting quite a lot to kind of manage the. It's enough. It's enough. And I'm a person that would bite off more than I could chew typically. So I've had a word with myself and decided to stop at 7 and just to focus on getting the conveyancing done, getting the refurbs done, and taking stock at that point in time. With Mastermind, I have a coach, and we did some work at the very beginning of the journey. Hate the word, but it is what it is.
This is called Journey of a Property Investor. But carry on.
That's
carry
good,
on.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Talking to my coach about where I want to be, where I need to be in terms of income by next December, which is around the time that I'll turn 40. So we've done some work on what that looks like. I'm on track with these 7 to be where I need to be by December 26, to then get to where I need to be for December 27. So I'm on a plan, and I've got a really clear plan that I'm delivering against. So essentially, this year is about acquiring these 7, flipping 1, so ditch 1, have 6, get them up and running. Mix of service accommodation, and then the universal credit wealth system is the plan for the others. And then next year, same again. So that then 13, 14 houses by the back end of next year should be giving me the income that I am looking to achieve.
Brilliant.
So, yeah, that's the plan.
Plans and deadlines get things done, don't they?
They do. Well, hopefully they do.
Andy, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on.
Thank you.
We've got to leave things there.
Thank you
so,
very much.
Thanks for coming along and sharing parts of your life and your investing and
problem.
all the things
Thank you
you're
for having
doing.
me.
And look forward to having you on again in the future.
Sounds great. Thanks very much.
Cheers, thank you.
Cheers, buddy. It's not all about the destination, it's about the journey.